Okay. Hello and welcome to the channel where we talk about all things Weiss Schwartz and chill with friends. My name is Liam and today we're doing a Q&A. Now, if you are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you enjoy this type of video, please let me know by hitting that like button. As well as that, if you haven't already, please make sure to check out my other social medias on Twitch, on Discord, and on Twitter. The links are in the description below. But let's jump straight in. So last month, I did my first Q&A video, and it seemed to go down an absolute treat. And I really enjoyed having a more personal video rather than dedicated to Weiss, dedicated to that sort of thing. I just wanted to be able to talk and be me. And I really enjoyed it, and it seemed like you guys did too. So, like I said, I want to make this a full series where I release a video once a month, just doing a Q&A. And if you ever want to have questions included for the Q&A, all you've got to do is let me know in the comments below, or go onto my Q&A channel on my Discord server, where you can ask your questions there as well. But without further ado, let's jump in. So the first question is from Writing Miss Emmy, asking, what makes Weiss unique and stand out, other than it being anime related? So for me personally, there are two main things about Weiss that I absolutely love. One, the community. The community is actually awesome, and it's one of the best trading card game communities that I've ever been part of. And secondly, the thing I absolutely love about Weiss is that even if you're having a bad game or you have a bad start, there is always a way to turn it around. And there's always a way to somehow make things work. The amount of times where I've been playing a 2-soul deck and I've been on 3-4, 3-5, my opponent's been on 2-1, and I win because 2-soul go brr, fight me. And the next question is a debate of the centuries. However, for me, I can't stand coffee. Green tea all the way. Following that up with a question from Leafa asking, what's my most favourite interaction between cards? And for me, it's gonna have to be 2-soul, and it's gonna have to be the level 3 Casimir from the start deck in Bang Dream, linking with everything else that just gives it a massive amount of soul for its combo. For people that don't know, the Casimir is on a play, you can search for any character, and then at the end of this card's attack, you may do an Icy Tail effect, which if you don't know what the Icy Tail is, make sure you check out my Weiss Sling episode 3, and it Icy Tails for a number of cards equal to the character's soul at the end of attack. Now, normally you think, okay, it's a level 3 2-soul, it's on a 2-soul combo, that makes it 4-soul. What's so special about that? Ice Tail's normally 4 anyway. The thing is, with the rest of the deck, you've got the Brainstorm that gives 1,000 power and a soul to a named Casimir, i.e. herself. You've also got the level 2 Futaba, which is on attack, as long as you've got a full board, give one of your characters +2 soul. I've had it where my Casimir has been on 8-9 soul, the 9 stick, Icy Tail go off, milling the bottom 9 cards of my opponent's deck, hitting 2 or 3 more climaxes, and that damage sticking as well. So in one attack step, I've dealt 12 damage. That's pretty fun. Of course, that's very high risk, high reward, but when it does go off, my god, it feels great. Next question from JD, what other card games have I played, and what makes Weiss the one that stood out for me? So before playing Weiss, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh!, where I used to be an official Konami judge. I used to play the Pokemon trading card game, where I went to Nationals a couple of times. I used to play Magic the Gathering, more casually than anything. I used to play Keyforge, again, very casually. That's about it in terms of the core games that I've played. I've played some other much smaller ones as well. But for Weiss, why that stands out for me is, again, it's threefold, following on from what Emily asked earlier. One, I love the community. The community is actually great for Weiss. Secondly, I love the fact that you're always in the chance for a win. Thirdly, the game is never over within 5 minutes. I like the fact you actually got a bit of a longer game, and it's more of a tactical thing rather than how quick can I get this combo off and how many steps to this combo can I do. Thanks, Yu-Gi-Oh! And finally, I love the fact it's getting around anime, it's anime licenses, it's different anime licenses, and yeah, I just love that. We ignore Adventure Time personally because, yeah, Adventure Time. I mean, it was a good set and it got people into the game. Not my cup of tea though. Next question from Pirihiko asking, if I had one, what was my favourite format? And why in terms of tournament seasons and which decks were around and popular? Now, some people might think that's controversial, but actually my favourite format right now is the current format. The variety of decks, the fact that there isn't just one deck that does extremely well. I know Mashoku's doing very well in Springfest at the moment, but it's not like you can't beat Mashoku. You have a hard time doing it, but it's not like you can't. The thing I love about this current format is that there is such a variety in the meta. There's such a variety of good decks out there, from Hololive to Sword Art Online still doing things. Quintessential Quintuplets, Bang Dream, obviously Mushoku Tensei. You know, I think there are some good decks out there that can still perform very well. And then obviously then you've got your more rogue decks, where if you're in a singles format and you know you're going to a standby heavy meta, Frederica Bofuri does really well. Any form of two-soul deck can do well to push through. I just think that overall, right now, the game is pretty balanced. I think there are still tweaks that need to be made for the English format, but overall, I genuinely believe that at the moment, the format right now is pretty damn good. Ayayay asks, how long do I plan on playing Weiss, and what things or factors, personal and from the game/company, would make me consider quitting the game? So this is actually quite interesting. So in terms of how long I plan to play Weiss, at the moment in time, I don't plan on stopping. I absolutely love the game and I love the community. I just really enjoy playing Weiss, and obviously with what I'm doing now on YouTube and Twitch, and it's kind of my main thing, I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. But the sort of things that would maybe make me stop playing, firstly, if Bushiroad itself did anything massively controversial and unethical and things like that, I wouldn't want to support the company if that happened. Secondly, if they stopped supporting the game, i.e. they just said, yeah, we're going to stop it like we did with Body Fight or Luck and Logic or Dragonborn, you know, I'd hate, obviously I'll stop playing Weiss if that happened, obviously. And finally, I mean maybe more from a personal side of things, if I physically stopped having the money that I could invest into the game. It's fantastic that through people on Twitch, on YouTube, things like that, people have been offering donations, their subscriptions, and things like that, which is very, very much appreciated. It's so awesome that you guys are willing to support me and my channel and what I do here. I really, really do appreciate it. But at the end of the day, card games do come at a cost. But even then, I would probably still keep playing with the older decks that I have. So I don't think money actually becomes an issue in terms of playing the game. I can still play what I've got. Unless I came across extremely hard times where I had to sell everything, I think I'll always play Weiss. Next question from Gabain. What is my favourite card from a set that isn't that popular? So for this question, I'm actually going to look at it two ways. One, in terms of popular in the meta, in terms of competitive play and things like that. So what sets aren't really seen much. And then the second way is just in general, what sets didn't sell very well, and is there a card in that set that I really, really like? Looking at the first way, I've got to go to Bofuri, and my favourite card in that set has got to be Atrocity Maple. The fact that you can just go absolute Hail Mary on that level 3. Yes, there are ways that people can just go, nah, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to sack counter, or I'm going to memory kick counter. There's loads of ways that people can get around that card, don't get me wrong. But the fact that you can just absolutely go ham on it feels great. And the fact that you can basically take that in as a 1-2 of in pretty much any Bofuri deck, so at the moment you've actually got a decent-ish finisher, I think it's just pretty cool. Now in terms of a card from a set that isn't popular overall, so this is a bit of a pop out, I'm going to Gotchusa, or Is the Order a Rabbit. Until Bloom, Gotchusa wasn't that popular a set in terms of seeing play, seeing a lot of people buy into it. It was only the people that sort of loved the anime who actually bought into that, and that was kind of it. And my favourite card from that is Kochi Kochi Megu, literally tickling Megu, and its effect is, as long as you're level 1 or higher, you can send this card to stock, and if you do, play a named character from hand. And also you can rest this card to give one of your characters a level 1 1500, but then during your next stand phase, the Megu herself does not restand. And the reason I love this is because you could use it so aggressively in the Dear My Sister deck. In fact, you can just spam your brainstorms really, really hard. It's a 5-card brainstorm in the Dear My Sister deck, and with how my luck is normally with brainstorms, it goes very well for me. I just love that engine. It is the pure engine in that deck that I run, and I absolutely love it. Yeah, it's funny because I understand why Bloom is good and understand why it does so well, but personally, I prefer playing Dear My Sister just because it's so much more fun to play, in my opinion at least anyway. Steve asks, want a hug? Always. You always want a hug. Yeah. Medalia asks, why do I hate Ferris wheels? Context. Minecraft, still do a Ferris wheel. Haven't done one yet. Gonna be happening at some point. We're trying a different mod pack, and I actually want to try and build one. But Medalia, you need to join us on the server first, so then we can do it together. Husky Ninja asks, what sets released in late 2021 or so far in 2022 do I think needs a second set? Now in terms of 2021, I'm actually going to push this just a bit sooner, back to May. Bofuri, personally, I think needs a second set in English and in Japanese. I think it could do with a really good finisher to support the early game it's currently got. Plus I think it just needs a bodyguard, because Maple's literal effect of Loving Sacrifice is that she takes all the damage from all of her other friends and party members. It's literally a bodyguard, or a great performance. Why does it not have a great performance? I also think Ruby would do really good with the second set. With the announcement of its new anime series, I think Ruby's got the opportunity to have a second set, and I think it would do really well. Rent a Girlfriend's another one. I think it's got a really good early game. The rest of the game really lets it down. I think that's another set I could do with another set. And people might not believe me on this, but I genuinely believe Mushoku Tensei needs a Season 2 set very soon, just so that people aren't overly reliant on that standby build. In terms of the Japanese games, I'd love to see Kobayashi's Dragon Maid get another set, like an anime set, rather than just its light novel set. I'd also love for Project Diva to get a set that's actually neo-standard with the previous Project Diva stuff. I'd love to see Zombieland Saga to get a set around its movie, which would be really cool. And another set I think would do really good with an extra set would be Madoka. It's coming up to its 15th anniversary, I believe, like in a couple of years, and I think Madoka players have been really hard done by in terms of the set design and the set releases. They just need a good set with everything that they need just to bring it up to date. Question from Shy Pianist asking, first of all, can I list every waifu I have? I'm not going to list them, but whilst I'm talking for the rest of this question, I'm just going to have them pop up on the screen. But what are the top 3 anime that I would want a set for in Weiss, and how would they work? Now, the first set's got to be Eurocamp. It's gone to Oshika, it's gone to Rebirth, please bring it to Weiss. In terms of how it would work, it could be an Exodia deck with the actual Going Outdoors club. It could be a Rin solo deck. It could just be a Rin Nadeshiko deck. You could just have the 3 girls in terms of the Going Outdoors club, like I said. I think there are plenty of options, and I've actually made a custom set for Eurocamp, so if you're interested in seeing that, let me know in the comments below, and I'll happily share it with you guys. Another anime that I'd love to see get a set would be something like Anohana, where you could utilize memory with Menma, and again, you could do things with the friends all around her, and there's so much you could do with Anohana. I'm very tempted to build a custom set for Anohana, so that would be another one I'd love to see. And another anime I'd love to see get in Weiss would be a sports anime. Something like Haikyuu or Kuroko no Basket. I think that sort of anime would do really well in Weiss. I would personally vouch more for Haikyuu, purely because it's actually been on a live performance on stage, like as a theatre performance, so you can use that to a degree. That, and I think Haikyuu's got more content to utilise for it. That and Haikyuu was the first sports anime I properly watched, and I absolutely loved it. And I've only just started watching Kuroko no Basket, so yeah, Haikyuu would be another fantastic anime in my opinion. Next question from Shadowless asks, how do I recover from my massive debt from buying Weiss cards?
Cause I have $30,000 in credit card debt.
Adolamin asks, why is Noel so OP and what makes Noel best girl? For context, Noel, we're talking about the Noel from Hololive. It's a cursed character for me, and if you saw my Hololive box opening stream, you could see why Noel was the bane of my life. Noel's fine. She's not best girl in my opinion. My best girls have got to be Korone, Marine, and Polka, personally. Nene's also very good. Fubuki's also very good. Payo's also very good. I like Hololive, okay? Don't judge me. Falcon asking a bit more of a serious question here, asking how do I deal with burnout when my interest in the game's certain aspects such as competitiveness or overall title selection has started to wane. So this is interesting because I had a little bit of this when Bunny Girl Senpai didn't get its set 2 for ages. And it really got me down because I thought, oh, there's a really good time for Bunny Girl Set 2 to come to English. I assume the reason it didn't because there was issues with Aniplex, which by the looks of things, Bushiroads are starting to iron out now, which is really cool. For me, I guess overall, I just found another set to enjoy. And again, I just found that I loved the game so much in terms of its community, in terms of just the gameplay itself and how the game plays. Sure, there are times when the game really doesn't go in my favour and it feels really, really bad. Do not get me wrong. I would be lying if I said that never happened. However, I still find that compared to other trading card games, and trading card games have always been a big part of my life, Weiss has been the one that I have enjoyed the most for multiple factors, which I've already mentioned on this video. I remind myself that it could be worse. I could be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I could be playing Magic where, you know, it's just not as niche, not as friendly in my opinion. And I just remember that I really do love Weiss. I've met so many fantastic friends through this community, and again, I've been able to do this YouTube channel and the Twitch, and all of this is stemmed because of Weiss, and I genuinely don't think I would have had the ambition or the motivation to do it with any other card game. Weiss genuinely is such a big part of my life. My wife will tell you how much I talk about Weiss, and it's pretty much one of the only things I really talk about. I love the game, and yeah, I genuinely can't get out of my head how much I love this game, the community, just everything about it. I really do. BBTF asks, Spy Family set when? And the final question for today's video from Writing Miss Emmy asks, if I could change one thing about Weiss, what would it be and why? I think the biggest thing that I would change is getting more Japanese sets into English. I think having this thing of English-Japanese meta, whilst I understand, again, Weiss is predominantly a Japanese game, Bushiroad is predominantly a Japanese company, and obviously they're going to get things first. Same with Konami and Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they've got OCG and TCG, I get it, but even then, the vast majority of stuff that comes out in Japanese comes to English in Yu-Gi-Oh! That isn't the case in Weiss. I'd say 50 to 60% of stuff that comes from to the English game is obviously from the Japanese game, and I think they could do better than that. There are some sets that we've missed out on as a result of that. I think Gotchusa would have done really well in English, just as a fun set to play. I think there are other sets as well that would have done really well in English in terms of getting people into the game. I understand that obviously some sets have set locking in terms of region locking, should I say, like Project Sekai, like Marvel, Pixar, Star Wars. I get that, and obviously I appreciate that we can't do much about that because of the licensing issues. But for example, Project Diva, the extra booster for that, XHD, why did that never come to English? I do not understand why that never came to English. As a result of that, Project Diva has become a dead set in English, and I really hope that XHD does come to Weiss in English. I held on for so long hoping it would, and it never has. I think the dream's dead for it, but it would be the support that Project Diva would need. And in general, I think just older sets, if it's possible to, should get more sets to revitalize them, to bring back the older sets. Again, like I mentioned about Madoka, like I mentioned again about Project Diva, the actual Project Diva, not Project Sekai. I think that there's more that could be done to bring those sets back to life in the current game. We've seen that it has worked for Gotchusa. It worked for Symphogear before it got banned. It worked for Konosuba. It's worked for Attack on Titan. Obviously, final season coming to English. That's going to do a massive thing for it. So it's great to see old sets come back with newer sets, but there are some that are missed, and I think that's a real shame. And that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you hit that like button to let me know. And if you want more of these sort of videos, these Q&As, let me know in the comments below. I really enjoy doing them, and it gives me an opportunity to be me, express my opinion, and just have a bit of fun with it. And again, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button to join our YouTube community, and check out my description for my other social media links on Twitch, on Discord, and on Twitter. But my friends, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!
Cause I have $30,000 in credit card debt.